پیام هوارد رئیس پیشین حزب دموکرات آمریکا، کاندیدای ریاست جمهوری به گردهمایی بزرگ 18 ژوئن.
There are people here, Iranians from all over the world, not just Europe and the United States, even as far as Australia and New Zealand. And the one thing you have in common, besides your Iranian heritage, is the fact that you stand for democracy and that you believe that the government in Iran can be changed, will be changed, and should be changed. I want to read you some important principles that human beings have evolved to live under. We want a pluralist system, freedom of parties and assembly. In Iran of tomorrow, we respect all individual freedoms. Expression of opinion, speech, and the media are completely free, and censorship or inquisition is banned. In the free Iran of tomorrow, we support and are committed to the abolition of the death penalty. We believe in complete gender equality and political and social rights. We are committed to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and international covenants and conventions, including the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the Convention Against Torture, and the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. We recognize private property, private investment, and a market economy. We want a free Iran of tomorrow to be devoid of nuclear weapons and the weapons of mass destruction. This is not a terrorist group. This is a group of Iranian dissidents, the opposition, the democratic opposition in Iran. What we need is freedom for the Iranian people. The brave people who 2 years ago went into the streets of Tehran to protest against a corrupt regime and a dictatorial group of people who engage in torture and murder to maintain their political regime. We can do better than this. The Iranian people can do better than this, and the Iranian people will do better than this. This is a great civilization going back nearly 3,000 years. You are the people who will lead us in the future, the people who have subscribed to these policies. This is an important thing not just for the Iranian people, not just for the MEK. This is an important thing for 3,400 innocent civilians. Those civilians in Camp Ashraf were disarmed by the United States 5 years ago. The FBI went through every single background of the people in Ashraf. Not one terrorist did they find. The American military gave everyone in Camp Ashraf a piece of paper saying that the United States would protect them if they would willingly disarm, and they have done so. The people in Camp Ashraf and the MEK have been committed to democratic principles for a decade. We now owe it to them to keep our word. These people must not be allowed to die. 35 of these people were murdered by the Prime Minister of Iraq at the bidding of the Iranian government on April 8th. They deserve better, and America is a better country than to break its word to the people we promised to protect. In order to do this, we must get the MEK off the terrorist list. When Congressman Rohrabacher went to Iraq with his delegation, he confronted Prime Minister Maliki and asked him about the murders of the people in Camp Ashraf. He was asked to leave the country for this. The truth of the matter is that Prime Minister Maliki has committed mass murder in Camp Ashraf, that he is doing the bidding of the Iranians, and that we can do better than this. This is about not just the MEK, not just the Iranian people. It's about the future of Iraq and the future of America. If America can't stand up for innocent civilians who want nothing more than a democratic government in Iran, who will they stand up for? We can do better than this as a country. This is as much about my country as it is about Iran. There are some extraordinary things that are happening. We thank Congressman Rohrabacher for his brave actions and for confronting what the American government would previously not confront. We need to get the MEK off the terrorist list. The British courts have demanded they be removed from the terrorist list, and in the UK they complied. The French courts have demanded they be removed from the terrorist list, and in the EU they have complied, and the French courts found no evidence that the MEK had engaged in terrorist activities in the last 20 years. The American courts have said that this MEK did not get due process and ordered the State Department to review the terrorist listing. The State Department has not done that yet. They are overdue by nearly 6 months. We owe this to the people in Ashraf to keep our promises. America must change its policy. We must stand up for democracy in Iran, not just talk about it. The idea that there's such a thing as a moderate in the Iranian government is an idea whose time has come and gone. There is no talking with people who use death and torture in order to enforce their political beliefs. The truth is the Iranian people will stand up for themselves. They stood up for themselves in Egypt. They stood up for themselves in Tunisia. They are standing up for themselves in Libya. They are standing up for themselves in Bahrain. And they will stand up for themselves in Iran. We must give the moral support to do the right thing, to make it possible for the Iranian people to fight for what they deserve, a democratic country with freedom for all. With that, I am with you. Thank you so much.